Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap and welcome to ARD static series. So today in this video we will be covering your lecture 9, okay, that is on the topic plantation and horticulture crop. So aspirants, in this from this chapter I have already completed your different modes of sexual and asexual method, right? Modes of propagation, what is asexual method, what are the sexual method of propagation in plants. So today here in this video we will be discussing about the post harvest technology. Okay, what are the steps involved in post harvest of horticulture crops. So today we will be discussing that, but before that I have to tell you the answer of the question that I have given you in the previous video. The question was, the concept of available water is given by which of the following scientists, and the right answer for this is Weymouth and Hendrickson. Okay, so they have given the concept of available water in the plant, and what was it? It was measured by subtracting field capacity with permanent wilting point. Clear? So this is the answer of this question. Now let's move on to the today's topic. So first of all, let me tell you what is post harvesting, why this post harvesting steps are required, why we go for post handling of this horticultural crops. So aspirants, see, our horticultural crops are very perishable in nature, right? So to store them at a proper condition, proper environmental condition, so that their shelf life can be increased, because shelf life is very important for these crops because they are very perishable in nature. They get easily perished. So we have to take care, we have to give some treatment to these produce so that their shelf life can be improved. And for improving their shelf life, to improve their quality, to maintain their quality, we go for post harvesting methods, we go for post harvesting technologies, okay, which include various kind of technology, various kind of instruments, various kind of methods that we can apply to these produce, to store there, to maintain their quality. Okay, so now let me tell you what are the steps of post harvesting. Clear? So कौन से steps involved है in your post harvesting, we will be discussing here through a flow chart, and then one by one we will be seeing what are they. Clear? So first is pre-cooling. Pre-cooling means low temperature, as the name suggests, pre-cooling. What is this? We will discuss it later. Then what we do after bringing a produce from the field. See, in field the temperature can be so much high, right, during the daytime or during the harvesting of the produce. So first we need to we need to bring down the temperature of that produce, that is your pre-cooling. Then what we do, we go for cleaning, washing and trimming. We clean, wash and trim extra extra leaves or extra stem out of the produce. Then we go for high temperature curing, drying, hot water treatment, vapor heat treatment and regreening for different purposes. Okay, what are the purposes of these three, and why they are done, I will be discussing it later. Okay, then we go for chemical treatments. Then fruit coating is done, that is waxing is also done sometimes. And then we astringency removal. Sometimes some produce can have a astringent effect, right? So to remove that, this is done. Then irradiation can be done. Then regulation of ripening, okay, to make it fully ripe we can regulate the ripening also. So all these steps are involved in your post harvesting. Clear? So now I hope this is clear to you that why we are going for post harvesting techniques, why we are including these techniques. You must be thinking that once the produce is ripe, okay, we have harvested it and our job is done. No, because more than 10%, 20% of our produce get wasted, especially in the horticultural crops. Many produce gets wasted due to lack of this post handling of the produce. क्योंकि क्या होता है कि when we are not properly handling this produce, it lead to deterioration of the produce, it lead to the decrease in shelf life of the produce. So it is very crucial, especially in horticulture, it is very crucial to go for this post harvesting method, post harvesting technology or post harvesting curing of these produce. ठीक है? So that is why we are involving this post harvesting is very important, and these are the steps that are involved in post harvesting. Now let us see one by one what are these. So first we discuss about pre-cooling. Clear? So pre-cooling क्या है? It is referred to the removal of field heat, quick cooling. So as soon as we bring the produce from the field, so what we do, we go for pre-cooling. We just bring down the temperature of that produce to a certain temperature level, right? Because ज़्यादा temperature होगा, it can get the quality of that produce can get affected. So what we do, we just cool it down after harvest. If not, its deterioration is faster at higher temperature. As I was telling you, ki if the temperature will remain high, it will deteriorate faster. Next is cleaning and washing. We know that why we clean. Even though we are bringing any vegetable from the market or any fruit from the market, we are cleaning and washing it, right? So that any dirt, debris can be removed out of that produce. So similarly, we are going for cleaning and washing, but here we are using water with 100 to 150 ppm of chlorine and pH is around 6.5 to 7.5. Now this is done so that they can be properly cleaned. The produce can be properly cleaned. All the dirt, debris can be cleaned out of this water. And your chlorine is a disinfectant, right? So this chlorine acts as a disinfectant and wash the produce clearly, right? Properly. Then remove adhering dirt, stains, insect, mold cleaning, improve their appearance and extent of shelf life. When we go for cleaning, so what happened? All the dirt, debris get are washed away. If there is any mold, any fungus in there, fungus development there, that get washed away. That lead to the improving the quality of that produce, and also your shelf life of produce can be increased by the cleaning and washing. Clear? Now moving on to the next, that is dressing. So here removal, trimming and cutting of undesirable leaf, stem, stalk, roots, other non-edible or unmarketable part is called dressing. So basically whenever we are harvesting any produce, okay, you might have seen, especially in agriculture, whenever you are harvesting something, so there might be chances that you have plucked the leaves along with your produce. There might be chances that you are breaking the stem. So now what we have to do, you have to remove all this extra plant material which are not economical, okay, which are not of our use. So we have to remove, we have to trim, we have to, remove all the extra material, all the extra things that is with this produce, so that we get the quality produce. Only the produce is left with us. We do not have extra thing like stem, any other stem or leaves within the produce. Okay? So that is why we are going for dressing, and this thing is known as dressing. When we are removing, trimming or cutting all the extra part of the plant, that is called as dressing. The dressing make vegetable attractive and marketable. The ultimate goal is just to sell the produce, right? So if we go for dressing of any fruit or a dressing of any produce, agriculture produce, it make it more attractive, and then it make it more appealing to the customers, right? So that is why a customer will buy your produce if he find, okay, this is looking good in quality, right? So that is your dressing. Then water spray. Produce can also be covered with gummy sacks soaked in cold water if it is stored for longer period before the sale. Sorry. So sometimes what is happening, we have to keep the produce for long time. Okay, and then what we can do, we can just keep this produce in the gummy sacks and then soak it into the water. So if we want to keep the produce for a longer duration of time, then we can go for water spray. Clear? So these were all about some post-harvesting method. Now let us discuss some more. Okay? So after that we can see curing. Now what is this curing? Curing is accomplished by holding the produce at a temperature and relative humidity for several days. While harvesting wound, heal and new protective layer of cell formed around the wound. Now you must be thinking, ki ma'am, ab ye kya hai? We don't get it, right? So sometimes what happened, we have to, curing is basically keeping your produce at a particular temperature or a particular relative humidity for some period of time, because we have just plucked the fruit, we have just plucked the produce, it would have some wound. Okay, so we want that wound to heal. So we are keeping it for some time so that any wound happened during the harvesting can heal up. Okay, and a protective layer of cells, because whenever there is a healing, cells formed, so whenever there is a cell division, cells are formed, a protective cell can be formed, a protective layer of cell can be formed around that wound, thus protecting our produce. Okay, thus protecting its self life. So that is why curing is done. Now in different commodity, different temperatures, they are kept at different temperature, at different relative humidity. For example, here in potato, you can see that temperature is 13 to 17 degrees Celsius and relative humidity is kept more than 85%. Then days of curing is 7 to 15 days. So it is kept for 7 to 15 days in this temperature and this relative humidity. Similarly, for sweet potato, yam, cassava, garlic and onion, these are the temperature and relative humidity and curing days for which they are kept. Now I hope this is clear to you. What is curing? Why curing is done? Clear? Moving on to the next, that is drying. Now, what is drying? So basically drying is carried out to preserve the fruit and vegetable by reducing water activity below that, which support the growth of microorganism and action of enzyme. So whenever any produce have water in it, you might have observed it, wherever there is a water, chances of contamination is fast wherever there is a moisture, right? So in fruits also, in vegetable also, what we are doing, we are drying it. Why? So that the moisture level can be brought down, the moisture content can be decreased, and after decreasing this moisture content, what will happen? It will stop any microbial action, it will stop their enzymatic action, right? So if the microbial action, enzymatic action is arrested, so it will keep, we can keep our produce for a long duration of time. So that is why this drying is done. And sometimes, like in your onion and garlic, we do not dry the produce. There is not uniform drying. We are just drying the outer layer. Clear? So sometimes we have to dry out the outer layer. Like in onion and garlic, you might have seen that we have to dry out the outer layer. So that is also part of post-harvesting. And drying of onion has been carried out in field and called as windrowing. Basically, if you have got a chance to see an onion field during its harvesting, so the onion are harvested and kept in the field, okay, for the drying, and this process is known as windrowing. Clear? So this is windrowing. This involves pulling the bulb from the ground and layering them in ground in small heaps for 1 to 2 weeks. So for 1 to 2 weeks, these onions are kept in the ground in a heaps. In small heaps, they are kept in the ground so that they can dry out under the sun. The drying can be done properly. Okay? And this process is known as windrowing. Now I hope this is clear to you. Moving on to the next, that is degreening. It is important. Okay, I would say this is important because last year question was asked from degreening. That is why I have come up with this topic, because degreening se question aaya tha. It can be, so we can predict that post-harvesting techniques are important, and question might come from other techniques or from this only, right? So degreening is what basically it is post-harvest treatment of citrus fruit. Clear? First of all, you must remember it is the treatment of citrus fruit, post-harvest treatment that is done in citrus fruit with ethylene, okay, under controlled condition to hasten the loss of chlorophyll process, that is degreening. As the name suggests, degreening means we have to reduce the content, we have to remove the green color of the produce. So in citrus, what happened? The citrus is green in color. So what we are doing? We are using ethylene. That is a ripening hormone, right? So we are using ethylene and we are keeping our citrus, our produce, in a controlled condition, in a controlled environment, so that the degreening process can be hastened. The content of chlorophyll can be reduced faster. Because if you will go to the market and you will see a green orange and a orange, bright yellow orange color orange, so what will you pick? You will pick obviously orange, right, which is a bright orange in color. You will not pick the one that has green or orangish or yellowish shades, right? So we have to uniform the greening part. We have to uniform the color of the produce. So what we are doing? We are going for degreening, means we are reducing the chlorophyll content and making the color of the produce uniform. Okay? So that is your degreening. Now from here you must remember that degreening is done in citrus fruit and it is done with the help of ethylene, and they are kept in the controlled environment condition, right? So that the chlorophyll content can get removed fast. Then degreening consists of chlorophyll degradation to allow the expression of natural pigments masked by the green color. So basically, as I was telling you, that the natural color of any fruit that is masked by the chlorophyll that is masked by the green color of chlorophyll. So basically we have to hasten this process so that the actual color of fruit can come up. Clear? So for example, yellowing in citrus fruit. This is the example I have told about this, right? So that is degreening. Moving on to the next, hot water treatment versus vapor heat treatment. Now sometimes we have to kill the insect, we have to kill the pathogen, we have to kill the any pest that is associated with that produce. So there we have to go for the treatment. We have to with the help of heat, with the help of steam, we have to remove these, we have to kill these pathogens, because if these pathogens will be adhere to our produce now, then what will they will slowly degrade our produce. So we have to do some treatment to remove these pathogen, to remove these pests. So in that case, what we are doing, sometimes we do go for hot water treatment. Okay? So basically dipping of fruit in hot water for a specific temperature for a specific period of time for the purpose of disease control in the insect disinfection, uniform ripening is known as hot water treatment. So basically we have to, what we will take our produce, dip it in the hot water for a particular, which is at a temperature, which is at a particular temperature for a specific duration of time. And why we are doing so? So that any pest, any pathogen, any insect that is associated with that produce can get killed, right? So that is your hot water treatment. Now here you can see that if in mango we have to control the anthracnose problem in stem, that is stem and rot. So what we will do, we will dip the mangoes at 55 degrees Celsius boiling water, and duration is 5 minutes. For 5 minutes we have to dip the mangoes into the hot water that is at the temperature of 55 degrees Celsius. Clear? Then we have, for sweet potato it is 40 degrees Celsius for 2 minutes. For blueberries it is 46 to 55 degrees Celsius for 3 minutes. So from here you can understand that for each produce, for every produce, this temperature and duration will vary. Okay, it's not like that at a particular temperature you will give hot water treatment to each and every produce. So it depends upon the type of produce, it depends upon the fruits, it depends upon the produce that you are disinfecting, right? So that is your hot water treatment. Next is your vapor heat treatment. Basically it's the method of heating fruit with air saturated with water vapor humidified by injection of steam at a temperature of 40 to 50 degrees Celsius to kill insect, eggs and larvae as quarantine treatment before the fresh market shipment. So basically sometime what happens, we have some quarantine pest. Quarantine pest means they are very nuisance pests, and they can get transferred from one place to another place, and there also they can get multiplied and get spread, and they can cause crop losses. So to prevent these crop losses, what we are doing this vapor heat treatment. The difference between hot water and vapor heat treatment is that in vapor heat treatment we are using vaporized heat. Okay, we are using steam, we are using hot steam or hot vapor to kill these insect pests. That is the difference between these two. Okay? And why we are doing so? Because sometimes eggs, larvae, they remain after doing hot treatment also, they remain in the produce. So to kill these eggs, larvae of insect that are the very resistant in nature, right? So to kill all these we have to go for the vapor heat treatment. And if we will not do vapor heat treatment, what will happen? For example, I have traded some commodity from the some other place, and I wanted to grow it here right now, right? So what will happen if they have not given the vapor heat treatment? That produce will have egg and larvae of all the pests that is present in their place. And when I will sow them, I will grow them here, that pest will get a congenial environment, and it will grow here, and it will cause the losses to the crop produce that is being grown here. Okay? So that is why we are going for vapor heat treatment. Vapor heat was developed specifically for insect control. Okay, here you have to remember that they are specifically for insect control, that is to kill the larvae, to kill the egg of these insects. The temperature and exposure time is adjusted to kill all stages of fruit fly infected produce mango. Okay, so mango fruit fly is also one of the quarantine pests. So we can adjust the temperature and exposure time to kill these fruit fly insect that affect the mango, right? So this was about the hot water treatment and vapor heat treatment. Now let us discuss about the infestation and sprouting. Now, what is disinfestation? Basically, most fungi require acidic condition to grow, right? Which they grow and develop while bacteria thrives in neutral pH, and few can grow at level of pH 4.5. Your chlorine and sulfur dioxide are the most widely used chemical for the disinfection, and chlorine is used in concentration from 50 to 200 ppm in water to reduce the number of microorganisms present on the surface of fruit. However, it does not stop the growth of pathogen already established. Now, what is happening? We have to disinfect the produce. Disinfestation means we have a produce where there is an infestation of any fungi. Now, here it is written that the fungi mostly grow at acidic environment. Okay, if we have acidic environment, produce is kept in some acidic environment, the fungi will grow there, while your bacteria will grow in at alkaline to neutral to alkaline pH, right? And mostly these pathogens are grown in pH of 4.5. So for example, if there is a condition which became favorable pH for fungi and bacteria to grow, so what we have to do, we have to disinfect the produce. We have to remove all these fungi, bacteria, pathogen, and for that what we are doing, we are using chlorine and sulfur dioxide. So basically your chlorine and sulfur dioxide are used to kill all these pathogen, while your chlorine do not kill the pathogen that is already established in the fruit. For example, I have an apple, right? And already fungus is infestation, already there is a fungus infestation. But if I'll wash it with chlorine, this will not spread. Okay, it will not control that is already there in the produce, but it will control its spreading. So chlorine water will just arrest the growth of that fungus, while your chlorine and sulfur dioxide, they can kill this pathogen. So basically, why we are doing disinfestation? Basically to remove all these fungus, remove all the bacteria from the produce. Clear? Then sprouting. So sometimes root and tuber type vegetable have a dormant period after harvesting and then regrow under favorable condition. In potatoes, garlics, onion and other crops, sprouting and root formation accelerate deterioration. Okay, so sometimes when we have sprouting, sometimes you have observed in the kitchen also, you have kept the potato for some time, you can see from eye of the potato the sprouts appears, from onion bulbs the sprouts started appearing, okay, and from the garlic also you can see the green leafy sprouts started appearing if you keep it for a particular duration of time. So what is happening? This sprouting is, then you are not consuming that onion, then garlic, that potato, right? So their quality get deteriorated. That is why these can lead to the deterioration of the quality of our produce. So for that we have to arrest the sprouting, we have to arrest this growth of sprouts from these produce. So for that we use, for potato commercially we use CIPC, that is 3-chloroisopropyl N-phenyl carbamate. Okay, this is the chemical that is being used in potato for arresting the sprouting. It is applied to storage as dust, immersion vapor or other forms of application. So basically in potatoes we are using this chemical to arrest the sprouting in potato, okay, so that their quality is maintained and they do not get deteriorated. So that was about the sprouting. Let's move on to the next, that is waxing. So basically waxing, as the name suggests, wax, we are using wax. So why we are using this? Basically waxing is to, we are providing a protective layer of wax around the produce. So it is a protective edible coat on fruit and vegetable which protect them from transpiration loss and reduce the rate of transpiration, that is called waxing. You know that after the harvesting also the plant transpire, that is why it gets spoiled, it get deteriorated, the quality get deteriorated, right? So what we will do in waxing, we will provide an edible wax layer so that the transpiration of this produce can be controlled, that can be minimized and their shelf life can be increased. So that is all about waxing. It is the simple waxing and it can be done in many ways, like spray waxing. We can spray the wax above the produce, we can dip the produce in the wax, or we can use foam waxing, or we can just do flooding. We can just flood the wax around our produce. So that was about the waxing. Then we have astringency. See, some produce have astringency effect, means whenever we taste them, whenever we consume them, they have some astringency effect, they have some mouth sensation, right? And that is not good. So to arrest this, this astringency is done. So basically astringency is a dry puckering mouthful caused by tannins. It is due to the tannins that is found in many fruit such as red grapes, blackthorns, quince, persimmon fruit, banana skin. So treatment, so to remove this astringency, what we are doing, we are treating it with high level of CO2, okay, and spraying with alcohol like ethanol. So to remove this astringency effect, we are treating them with CO2, high level of CO2, and spraying alcohol to remove this astringency from the produce. Clear? So that was about waxing and astringency. Now next is irradiation. So sometimes ionizing radiation can be applied to fresh fruit and vegetable to control microorganism, insect, parasites, and inhibit or prevent cell reproduction on and some chemical changes. So basically, as I was telling you that we have to remove this pathogen also. Okay, so one of the way can be irradiation, means we are applying any radiation and that is killing the pathogen, insect. Now from this irradiation, it will kill its egg, larvae, eggs, everything. Okay, your fungus, if there is a fungus, the fungus cell will be killed, because if there will be one cell of the fungus, even the one cell on the produce, it will again start multiplying. So through irradiation, we are just completely sterilizing our produce. Okay, it can be applied by exposing the crop to a radioisotope in the form of gamma rays, but X-ray can also be used from machines which produce high energy electron beam. So it can be done through any gamma rays or X-rays, but X-rays can be done if there are high energy producing electron, but mostly gamma rays are used, and cobalt 60 is the commonly used source of gamma rays. So basically your cobalt CO60 is basically most commonly used gamma radiation, gamma rays that is used for food irradiation. Okay? So that was about the irradiation. Then we have ripening. At the end, what is our aim? To ripen the fruit, right? So in ripening, what we are doing, during ripening, an edible mature fruit will turn into edible soft fruit with optimum taste and characteristic flavor. Fruit start ripening after reaching maturity by the release of ripening hormone known as ethylene. Okay, so basically ripening happened after that. Ripening happened in the fruit, ripening happened in the produce. So ripening is basically when the fruit has attained the full maturity, a particular characteristic taste, right? So that is your optimum taste and characteristic flavor has appeared in the produce. So that is your ripening, and this ripening can be achieved by hormone that is ethylene. Clear? So ethylene is externally applied to enhance the ripening process. Sometimes we have to enhance the ripening process. Okay, sometimes there are many fruit where we need the need to enhance the ripening process. So what we are doing, we are using ethylene. Clear? So now here I have listed some optimum condition for ripening of the fruit, and after at the end the food has ripened, and now the farmer, it is ready to be sold in the market. Okay, what farmer will do, farmer will take these fruits and it will take it to the market, and then their consumer will buy it. Okay, so that was about the post harvesting. Now let us discuss the question based on the thing whatever we have discussed so far. First is, which of the following is most commonly used in irradiation? I have just discussed this with you, and that is your cobalt 60. Okay, this is the most commonly source of gamma rays during the irradiation process. Then we have which of the following is the drying of onion carried out in the field and involves pulling of bulbs from the ground and laying them in the ground in small heap for 1 to 2 weeks. Okay, we have to pull the onion and we are keeping it in the ground in a heap for 1 to 2 weeks, and that is your windrowing. Clear? So this is your windrowing process. The next question says dash is a method of heating fruit with air saturated with water vapor at temperature 40 to 50 degrees Celsius. So we have discussed with this, when air saturated with water means we are using steam. The right answer here will be vapor heat treatment. We are using vapor. So vapor heat treatment will be the right answer here. Then we have which of the following can be used in reducing astringency. I have told you to remove the astringency. What we will do, we will go for the treatment with high level of CO2. Clear? So high level of CO2 along with the alcohol, alcohol will reduce this astringency effect in the produce. Then we have the concentration of chlorine in water used for washing is. So I have told you in the beginning that it is 100 to 150 ppm. Clear? So chlorine will not stop the growth of pest, that pathogen that is already established in the produce, but it will restrict its growth. Okay, so basically to wash off extra material, this chlorine is used, that is of 100 to 150 ppm. Then last question, that is the practice question for you, and this is the question that was asked in NABARD Grade A. Okay, so you have to practice this and do let me know the answer of this question in the comment box. The question says the process of removal of green pigment from the fruit as it is not liked by the customer and further exposing it to the ethylene gas is known as. Now these are the options and you have to let me know the answer of this question in the comment box. Clear? So that was all, aspirants. I hope you have enjoyed the video. But before that, I have an announcement that we have launched a comprehensive NABARD guidebook for you, which is your one-step solution to all your queries regarding NABARD and NABARD examination. Not only that, it will provide you the decoded syllabus as well as the PYQs that you can refer to see that what kind of questions are being asked in NABARD Grade A. And also it will provide you the strategy and resources to clear this NABARD Grade A examination, and that too for free. Yes, aspirants, you can avail this guidebook for free, and for that you have to go to the description box, click on the link, register yourself and avail this guidebook for yourself. Clear? So that was all for this video. And if you are new to our channel, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And also if you want to download the PDF of this lecture, you can join us on our Telegram channel. So that was all for this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you. Thank you so much.